This is something that I don't like. This is a video I really don't care to make. Pure Living for Life. I subscribed to them a long time ago. And I watch a few videos every once in a while of theirs. I unsubscribed them a long time ago, but every now and then they show up in the suggested videos, and if I see something that I'm interested, I'll go ahead and watch it. I really did enjoy them making that hot tub with the wood stove that goes in it, and I thought that was pretty cool. But they just didn't, for the most part, strike me as people that I cared to watch all that much. I didn't care what their opinions were, or who they were, or anything else. It's just somebody that I chose not to watch. It doesn't mean they put out good or bad content. I'm not saying that at all. They must have good content because I see their channel has grown quite a bit. So they must be doing something right. Are they homesteaders or not? Hey, I don't know. I'm not in their shoes. I don't care if they're homesteaders or not. My personal opinion is they're yuppie of homesteaders, but who cares? They're doing some hard work there. You know, it ain't easy to do what they're doing. Like I said, I'm not interested in following their channel, but why do we need to be talking about this? Who cares if they said something about play homesteaders or something like that? By the way, folks, I'll say it again. I'm not a homesteader. I'm just a hillbilly that lives out in the country. I'm just a country hillbilly. You know, I'm just a pumpkin seed. It don't matter what you want to call me. I could care less. But I don't know why people are getting up in arms about a comment that they said. I will say this, I really did appreciate what Wrangle Star had to say on it. He said he subscribed to them, he doesn't watch all their videos and stuff. But I can respect the fact that they are doing a lot of the work, like the concrete work, the foundation and stuff. I don't know what they've done, I haven't watched it, okay? But if they're doing the work, a lot of the work themselves, great. And you know what? If they can afford to contract out parts that they don't want to do, that's fantastic too. You know, just running a job, building a house, not even doing the work, but just organizing everything, getting the subs there, making sure that they're getting what you want, what the contract was, getting the permits, the whole 9 yards, everything that's involved with building a house. It's a lot of work, even if you don't actually do the work yourself. And quite honestly, if my channel was to get big enough and I could make a whole bunch of money and I could afford to build a nice new house somewhere, I wouldn't build it myself. I would get somebody else to build it for me. You know, I have particular people that I'd want to do the job. But I wouldn't build it myself. It would be beyond me. I can't do that anymore. I mean, I could do it, but not in a time set, not in a time frame, not in a reasonable time frame. So here's a couple of city slickers, yuppie city slickers that moved from somewhere in California up to Idaho. They got away from the rat race, and they're making their life their own. Yeah, they said pretend homesteaders. Who really cares? I sure don't. Yeah, the things that people get worked up over, I just don't understand. The only thing that makes a person the homesteader in today's day and age is that they say that they're a homesteader. Yeah, I can't judge them, and I can't judge the pretend homesteaders or anybody else. I could care less. What I do care about is the channels that I watch, is content that I enjoy watching. and people I care to watch. Whether it's real or not doesn't matter. It's entertainment to me. If I'm going on a YouTube channel and looking for valid information on how to do a particular thing, well, there's some good merit in that, and you still have to watch it. Because there's a lot of bad information out there on YouTube. And there's bad information from me, because you know what? Where you live at, the environment that you live in, is completely different from the environment that I live in. So what holds true for you does not hold true for me. And vice versa. It's just like animals around here. Predators, for the most part, are on this part here. They're not a problem at all. Oh, I know that a skunk, you know, it can eat a chicken. There was a gal that left a comment about that yeah, they'll eat chickens. Well, here's what I know about skunks in my area. I've never known a skunk to eat a chicken in this area. It's not to say that it hasn't happened. So this is my opinion in my area about skunks eating chickens. If the skunk doesn't have the taste for the chicken, he's going to leave it alone. If he gets really hungry and desperate, he's going to be an opportunist. But generally, most wildlife will stick within what they know to eat. For instance, everybody knows that deer and elk, they love apples. Oh yeah, they love apples, man. I mean, that's candy to them. Well, about 20 years ago, we went up here, up on Tally Creek, and another friend of mine, he brought a big old box of apples way up on Tally Creek. Now, there ain't an apple tree in that vicinity for miles. This up in timber country. Yeah, they ain't no apple trees for miles. He took that box on up there and he dumped the apples on out there and said, okay, that's going to bring the elk on around. It was elk season. We went back there the next morning, and there was elk tracks all around and over those apples. They squished them, the apples. I mean, they'd been there, but not one apple was eaten. They didn't eat any of those apples. They didn't even sniff them. They just walked right through. Why is that? Because the elk in that vicinity didn't know what apples were. They didn't know that was food. It wasn't native to them. Sure, if you leave apples there long enough, sooner or later, one of them sooner or later will try it. And once they get that taste for it, then yes, they'll start eating it. But it just doesn't happen like that overnight. For the first 3 to 4 years that I lived here on my place, had a garden on out here right where it's at now. Never had a fence around my garden. Deer all around this place. Had peppers, green beans, tomatoes, everything. Never put a fence for 3 years around my garden. And the deer never bothered my garden. But after one night, just one night, 3 years later, a mama deer came on in there. And she was browsing, like they do. And she got a taste. And it's been a heck of a fight ever since. See, what I was growing in my garden wasn't native to them. They didn't know that was food. But once they got the taste of it, then they knew it was food and they were coming back for it. So for 3 years, they left my garden alone. And there was deer all around the place. Wildlife is not, they have to learn what they eat. And it's not natural for them to eat something that they don't know about. Now, for instance, in the city here, we've had a number of sightings of cougars passing through the city, and everybody knows that. Cougars eat dogs and cats. I'm not saying they won't, but I haven't heard of one dog or one cat in the city of Sweet Home down here. Not a single one has ever killed a cat or dog that I've ever heard of. It would be big news if it did. Because I tell you what, people want to get down on cougars. They would really publish that stuff. You'd hear all about it. The only thing that I ever heard about was there was one cougar down the road from me a ways that got a neighbor's horse and killed it. Well, a cougar like that, you have to hunt it down and terminate it, because it will be back for more livestock. Once they get the taste of that livestock, they will come back for more. But they won't taste it for a long time until they really get desperate. If they're lacking in food, their natural foods in their environment, they will look for something new. So skunks around here haven't bothered our chickens. Of course they know about eggs. They know birds lay eggs. That's natural to them. So of course the skunks go after our eggs. Doesn't hurt me none. I mean, I don't want to share my eggs with the skunks, but hey, eggs are reasonably cheap. I ain't going to go argue with a skunk over an egg, you know, if they've already got it. So, the only thing I can say about wildlife, no matter where you're at, the wildlife was there first. And we should show wildlife respect. And to show wildlife respect, to treat them with respect, we need to take care of our animals. It's your responsibility to make sure that your farm animals are put up safely at night, to where a skunk isn't going to come in there eventually and get that taste for that chicken, or a raccoon or a coyote. We got coyotes all over up in here. I haven't lost a chicken to a coyote that I know of. We've lost, and I take that back. We've lost a couple of chickens up on the hill a few times. When they don't come on into the chicken coop, they don't get locked up at night, and I figure if a chicken goes up in the trees, wants to roost in the trees out there somewhere, I ain't going hunting around for a chicken in the middle of, in the dark, round them on up. Hey, they got to get there on their own. It's my responsibility once they get there for me to keep them safe. Same with if I got goats. I'm really contemplating getting some goats or some sheep or something here. It's going to be my responsibility to see to it that I have put up every night to see to it that it's safe. Most predators are not daytime predators. Most predators are nighttime predators. So you lock them up at nighttime, they're safe. I understand that there's bigger farmers that their cows are out all night, and different livestock. I get it, and I understand that. Hey, they got to protect their herds. And once a cougar finds one of their animals, they got to hunt that sucker down. And they got to terminate it. And I also understand that in certain areas, predators, when you get too many predators, you have more competition for the food. And the more competition that you have for the food, for the wild game food, the less there is to go around. And that's when they start going after the farm animals. I have no problem with a farmer or a rancher doing whatever they got to do to protect their livestock. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the little guys, the guy with 15, 20 chickens, the guy with 3 or 4 goats or sheep or whatever, just a couple animals. It's your responsibility to keep them locked up and safe at nighttime from the predators. Don't worry about the skunks or anything else. You worry about what you're doing, and that will take care of everything.
Yeah, y'all come back down here. Now, if the women can't find you handy, or they can't find you good looking like me, just pray that they find you. And that's all I got to say about that. all come back now. You hear?